So we're seeing AI transform the classrooms now, all over America. So how do you balance the technology, human connection, critical thinking? It's a juggling act. How do you do it?
Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. The show is broadcast live from the illustrious Radio 1 studio.
Good morning. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m., bringing you the good marketing gospel. I'm not here to save your soul. I'm here to save your business, save your job, might even save the community while we're at it. I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. Got an exciting show today. Hang on one second here. Let me get a couple of things going here. Do a little housekeeping. The show is broadcast live. You can get the show by going to marketingpulpit.com. You can also go to Facebook. You can go to YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and we're all things Marketing Pulpit. So hang on one second here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a moment. All right, let's get this show on the road. Got a great show today. We actually have a great lineup today. We're going to have some couple of guests from the Mandela School, and we're going to talk about education. We're going to talk about beyond test scores. Now, marinate on that for a minute. Beyond test scores. Everybody gets onto these test scores these days, but we need to look back beyond the test scores and really dig a little deeper in this when we're talking about educating our children. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to have Miss Valencia Wood and Miss Antoinette Murray going to be joining us a little later. I'm Robert Gatewood. I am a business developer by trade. I have a company called Gatewood Marketing and Web. You can find me at gatewoodmarketing.com. I'm also an educator. I'm an adjunct professor at Prince George's Community College, where I teach marketing, PR, digital marketing, social media, networking, and so forth. I'm also in the government space, written a couple of books, and I'm just glad to be here on this show. I am here fulfilling my mission. Everything I do ties into my purpose, and that is to help small businesses. That's my raison d'etre, my reason for being, my purpose. Now, if you don't have a purpose, I encourage you to get one. Let's see, what else is going on today? We also want to dedicate this show to the life and legacy of Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, who passed away on February 17th, really just this week. That was a shock. I mean, he was getting up in age and he'd had some health issues, but when you have an icon like Reverend Jackson, no matter when he goes or how he goes, it's always a shock to the system because he contributed so much. He was born October 8, 1941, and passed away on February 17, 2026. A civil rights leader, politician, ordained minister, and it was a protege of Dr. Martin Luther King. He became one of the most influential civil rights leaders of the 20th and 21st century, early 21st century. And he served as a shadow delegate senator from Washington, D.C. area, born in Greenville, South Carolina. Most of us know him from the Rainbow Coalition. I remember him most from his run for the presidency. He ran in 1984, and he ran again in 1988. I remember that riveting speech he gave at the Democratic National Convention in 1988. He was talking about those ships. Some people came here on immigrant ships. Some came on slave ships. And he said, no matter what the ship, we're in the same boat now. That was pretty deep. So, but he also was, he was not your conventional civil rights leader. I remember another thing about him. He was flying all over the country. He was globetrotting, getting people out of prison. I remember he get this guy, Robert Goodman, his brother that was shot down over Syria, Kosovo, Iraq, Lebanon. He was all over the place. So he was not your typical what you might call, you couldn't just put him in a box and say he was a civil rights leader, because he did so many other things. But he was also, this is where you get extra points from me, he was a champion of small and Black-owned businesses. In 1971, he organized the Black Expo in Chicago, a 5-day event promoting Black economic empowerment and grassroots political power. It drew entrepreneurs from 40 states and leaders such as Cleveland Mayor Carl Stokes, Richard Daley, and so forth. So I'm going to say rest in power, Brother Jackson. You've done your job well, and you deserve your rest and your crown. Let's see what else is going on. Also, if you're looking to, some people have been asking me, when am I going to be teaching again? Go to marketingpulpit.com. I have my schedule on the website over in the right. You'll see the banner, it's a calendar. I think the next time I'll be March 7th. I'll be doing an all-day class on marketing strategies from 9 in the morning till 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a long day. Good thing now, though, we're doing this virtually. So if that was one of those in-person classes, I'd be sitting over here pacing the floor. But they made it very easy. But I will say this, though. With that virtual aspect, our enrollment has like quadrupled. But you understand why, though? I mean, people sitting in class, man, they're feeding their cats and kids running around, and some taking naps. You can't do that when you're in person. But we make up for it in volume. I look at it this way. If we can reach more people with this information that we business owners need to be successful, because the failure rate is abysmal, I say more power. So I say bring them on, however we can get to them. Smoke signal, in person, carrier pigeon. It's more important to me that we reach the people than the method of transmission. All right, let's see here. What else is going on? I think that's going to do it. I'm going to jump right into our guest. You all hear me talk enough. I'm here every Friday. But I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing, though. I'm going to be getting more guests involved. I mean, I think y'all have heard me for the last 15 years. It's been 15 years. It'll be 16 years this year. I started the show back in 2010. And the name Marketing Pulpit, of course, came. My dad was in hospice when I was conceptualizing the show. And I was looking for a name for the show. So he was a Baptist minister in the pulpit for 50 years. And I decided to name the show Marketing Pulpit in his honor. And I've been doing this. We started the show on Radio 1, 95.9 FM under Miss Kathy Hughes. And we have been rolling ever since. Now we've expanded into the digital age. And so we're on a roll. We're going to keep on going, keep this train moving. So I'm going to bring up my guests here. I know you all saying, get it on, man. Get out of the way. Let's hear these guests. Let me bring to the stage Miss Valencia Wood and Miss Antoinette Murray. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. How are you?
I am so glad to see you. I've been excited about this show. One, because, of course, as a fellow educator, I always like to hang out with other educators. Hey, I might pick up a tip or two. Shoot. Hey, I was in class. I did a couple of classes a couple of weeks ago. Did a class on social media and another one on networking. And I'm telling you, people are hungry for information these days. They are just eating it up. I guess because so many things are happening now, and people are a little concerned. We have AI is reshaping classrooms. We have public discourse. We have small businesses fight to stay competitive. And we're in the middle of Black History Month. And we're discovering that progress always has required unity, strategy, and collective effort. But today we're going to talk about something that's it's ancient, but we give it new life. And that's mandala, which means circle. And you'll correct me if I'm wrong now. So I'm just speaking from my own knowledge base.
Yes, you've
You all
got
are
it.
experts. But this also, it matters to small businesses too, which is our primary audience. But I do know this: if certain spokes fall out of the wheel, then the circle is weakened. So when
Absolutely.
education weakens, readiness weakens. When cultural identity erodes, economics erode. When collaboration breaks down, opportunity shrinks. So we're making this circle. We have this circle. It's a circle that we just can't opt out of whenever we feel like it. So the guests today are going to help us explore a different model, one that teaches balance, teamwork, holistic environments, and unity in a time when fragmentation feels normal. So I'm not going to tell their story for them. So let me tell you what, ladies, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization. We'll start with you, Miss Mary. Go right ahead.
Hi, good morning. So I'm Antoinette Murray. I'm one of the co-founders, and I'm also the head of school of the Mandala School. We are located in Bowie, Maryland. We have been in Bowie since 2025. We purchased our property in 2024. Our school has been running since 2020 at the start of COVID when everything was shut down. We were starting up. So that's a very different way of looking at things for us. And a major blessing for us as well. I've been in education for all my life. I was a teacher in the public school system. I homeschooled my children. I was a principal of a former private school as well. So I've been in education for a long time. And we're very passionate about what we do at the Mandala School.
So good morning. My name is Valencia Wood, and I am Director of Development and Programs here at the school. When we say programs, we're looking at different events, also summer school, and anything that's related to the school and the community. And development, that's a huge task as well, because I seek major donors, bring donors to the school, and form those partnerships with them as well as the community. So that's part of my Mandala role is at the school. And thank you for having us this morning.
Well, I can truly say I'm honored to have you on our platform today. I just like that term, the circle. Connectivity, that to me is powerful beyond words. Now, what does that mean we have this divided climate today? Mm-hmm. So what does that mandala look like inside of a school?
For us, it's a symbol of that wholeness and unity, and we're all interconnected no matter what race we are, religion, what kind of class we come from. And when one of our members is struggling, the entire system kind of falls down. You have that circle where all of those parts are really important. We live by the philosophies that I grew up on, that my parents raised me with, that it takes a village to raise a child. And we wholeheartedly believe that. And so when there is a connection between home and school, children thrive and children are successful because they know that everyone involved is helping them move in the right direction and to be successful. And so we know that the child is not separate from the family is not separate from the community, and the community is not separate from our future. So all of those things are really important. We here, being in Prince George's County and being in the city of Bowie, we're not just a school here for our students, but we're here for the community as well. We want to be fully engrossed with the community and help the community with whatever needs they have around them as well. So when you have all of those pieces working together, it's amazing what our world could look like. And we would love to see that in every form or fashion, and unfortunately we don't. And so we're teaching our children something different and raising them with their families to see something different so that we can have a different world.
And so,
Wow.
yes, and so when Antoinette says that, with regard to what the mandala concept looks like here at school, it's about, again, everyone working together. And say, the biggest example I always give is if you have 100%, or if I have 100%, but today I'm only giving, say, 70%, that means that, Antoinette, Joseph, and the rest of the staff, they have to make up for what I'm not doing. And so that's why we say everyone has to work together and should work together in order to make sure that we're moving to the next level. And it's not just about the school or the families, but as Antoinette said, the community as well.
That's so profound. Well, we're in the midst of Black History Month, and people have different opinions on what it is, how you should celebrate it, whether you should celebrate it. Well, how do you teach kids about cultural identity and unity at the same time? Can these two things coexist? You have
Absolutely. And one of the things that I will tell you is we had our debates here at our school about why is Black History Month first,
right.
the shortest of all the months, and
Okay.
why do we have a month that was Black History Month when Black history is just a part of us as a history, so it should be taught all year long. And
Right.
our kids will be forceful about that and tell us about that and remind us about that. So yes, we do some special things during Black History Month, but we're teaching our students about Black people who have contributed to our world and our country all year long. In our math classes, in our music classes, in our science classes, we're infusing that. And it's really important to help them to understand that. The other thing about it is that because you're not Black, and we do have students that are Caucasian, we have students of other colors, but races. But again, because you're not Black doesn't mean that we shouldn't learn about Black history. Just like because we're Black and we're not white, we should learn about all history. And so it is really important to do that. I will tell you that we have spent a lot of time working with our students on civil rights. And we know right now as a country that we're not doing a great job of protecting our history, which is a part of who we are and a part of how we got to where we are today. I would be remiss that our ancestors be looking at this and saying, what in the world is going on? What does
What's
Martin Luther
happening?
say about where our world and our country is today? We've posed that question to our students, and they will tell you that he would not be pleased. He would think that we were back and even further than where he was when he started the march, which is not a great thing to have. And so it's really important for us to make sure that all of our students know who they are, know their culture, and are confident and secure in who they are, no matter what anybody says about them. One of the things that I tell our African American students is that unfortunately, we have to be 2 steps ahead. It's not fair, but we have to be 2 steps ahead. That's just the way society is. And so we also are very real with our students. We just finished going over current events, what's going on in our world and our country, because it is important to them as well. And as children, they can take the opportunity to stand up for what is right as well.
Hmm. Hmm. And, as Antoinette was saying about being, realistic about what's going on and what is it that you can do right now to further the mission, not only of yourself and of the school, but also learning about yourself and build on that for the future, to take those lessons into the future and not to let me rephrase that, to be a good citizen, a great citizen, not only of the community and the country, but the world. What is it that you can contribute using the foundation that you've learned?
All right. You ladies are on point. Now let me shift a little bit, and I talk about this because it's one of the areas where I have some experience. So we're seeing AI transform the classrooms now,
Mm.
all over America.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you balance the technology, human connection, critical thinking? It's a juggling act.
Mm-hmm.
How do you? I mean, how do you do it? Or what do you
Technology is a
suggest people
tool.
do?
We teach our students technology is a tool. It's not our teacher. It's a tool that we use, but it's not the ultimate teacher. I will also tell you that when the public school systems decided to allow our students to have cell phones during the day, I don't know who they're communicating with during the day because everybody should be at school and learning.
Really?
But
Oh,
when you
Should be in
have that,
class.
and then it
right.
didn't work out, and now they're going back and trying to take it back from them. You've already given it to them. It's going to be even more of a challenge. We have never, all of our students, when they come on campus, all electronics are held until the end of the day. So there is no bringing your iPhone and your phone, your Apple Watch and all of those things, because I need you to be fully engaged with what we're teaching. Now, does that mean that we don't do technology? Absolutely not, because our students need to be up with the times where we are with technology. So our students need to do that to be successful when they leave here. So our students use technology. We also will be teaching our students about AI. I know that schools are really scared about teaching AI, but the problem with that is it's not going away. If nothing, it's going to be even more advanced. So why not teach our students the proper way to use AI? What they should be recognizing and what they should be careful of in that digital world. So digital literacy is huge, is very, very important for us teaching here with our students, but also educating our parents, because there are many parents that have no idea the things that their students are doing because they're not up on technology. So making sure that we give that education to our families as well, especially with AI and the things that are going on and the sites that our kids can get onto, which we never had access to. We had to go to the magazine stores or things of that nature. We didn't have access to it freely and easily. And so it's really important to make sure that we protect that and balance that. So there is a balance of screen time versus our human interaction and what we're doing within our classrooms.
And yeah, so, I deem that as, what we're doing to infuse that together as like an analog education as well. For example, using a pen or pencil and paper in order to lay out your ideas, still, honing your fine motor skills and everything like that, your research abilities, whether it's through a book, using the book and the computer, but the basic foundations of knowing how to write a sentence with your hand and know what the letters are instead of, okay, yes, they're on the keyboard, but to be able to do that is the foundation of beginning to learn everything. I use this example a lot as well. Like when you don't teach spelling or phonetics, how does someone learn how to read? How does someone learn how to speak or even to interpret information? So that's, where we come in infusing all of that together, showing the students how to use it properly, and that it is not the end all be all, but like what Antoinette said, it is a tool in order to further your life.
And Robert, I wanted to let you know that we do teach cursive. Our students learn cursive from the time that they get into the end of second grade all the way through. I'm constantly having to reteach because we have so many students that come to us that don't. There's just new studies out about the benefits of cursive and actually writing and how it does for your mental health and how it does for your memory and all of those things. So we still teach cursive. There are many things that are still written in cursive that our students need to be able to read, and they need to be able to sign their name and not just put an X.
We always look at this balance between human interaction and technology. It reminds me of this story where an employer called himself being, I guess, humane. He said, somebody asked him, why are you using a backhoe? Why aren't you using a backhoe? And you have 10 people out here using a shovel. He said, well, because the humane side of me says this backhoe is going to put 10 people out of work. So if I don't use the backhoe, I can employ 10 people. Mm-hmm. And somebody said, well, why don't you do this? Use spoons and you can put 1,000 people to work. So it brings up this constant challenge that society has. Do we displace people with technology, or do we get left behind? I look at it this way. I think we are duty bound as educators to give our children and our adults every tool available at their disposal. If we have a tool now, like Sister Mary said, we have to show them how to use it responsibly. I remember when social media was, I've been teaching so long now, I've gone through all these phases. But when social media was first coming on the scene, one of my favorite quotes was, use social media, don't let it use you.
That's right.
I started out the class, the students like, this guy's trying to talk us out of it. I said, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. There's 8 billion people in the world. And to ignore those 8 billion people, you're going to have a difficult time succeeding in business. But it's a tool that you must know how to use properly.
Yes.
It's that same approach to AI. It's a tool. And we as educators, our job is not to withhold that tool. It's to show them how to use it in the proper way.
Responsibly.
Exactly.
And you know, I liken it to, because, you know, I say this to Joseph and Antoinette all the time. I'm a writer just by nature. I love writing, love reading. And I've always said this: I do not want for my ability to write and come up with ideas and concepts to be replaced by AI, by not using my brain, you know? And so, and that to me, that's using it responsibly, and, you know, being respectful of my gift.
That's right. That's exactly right. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, let you ladies catch your breath, stretch your legs, and we're going to come back in a moment. I have a few more questions. If you in the audience have questions for our guests, if you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, just put your comments in the feed and we'll read them and show them on the air. And we're going to have them to give out their information, their website, and any type of social media platforms they may have when we come to the conclusion. But right now, we're just going to take a quick break. So hang on a second here. Let me get the. You're listening to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. We have our special guest today, Miss Antoinette Mary and Miss Valencia Wood. So hang on for a second. We'll be back. Welcome back. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Have a great show going on today. I'd like to thank our sponsors, BLE Executive Suites. They have their 3 locations in the Washington, D.C. area, over the National Harbor and Largo Center and College Park, which is a hub zone. Glad to have them. Also, don't forget to come out for the First Friday networking event. Every first Friday of the month, we have great guests, speakers, food. You're trying to start a company, you're trying to find a job, trying to get money for your business, come on out to the First Friday networking event. You can get that by going to blesweets.com/events. You can also get it on the Marketing Pulpit website, and that's my site. And you can also watch the show live. And if you miss any part of the show today, you can go back and replay it. Go to the website. You can go to YouTube, and you can get the entire show. And if you want to share it to somebody, just hit the little share button, pop it into their email or their text message or however you want to do it. So I'm going to get my guest back up here on the screen, and we're talking to Valencia Wood and Antoinette Murray from the Mandela School, and they're giving us we're trying to, we're tackling this education challenge. It's always been a challenge. I mean, since the beginning of time, since fire and rocks. So we have to tackle the challenges of the day without losing our identity. Therein lies the challenge. Everybody can jump on the latest shiny object, master it, but we have issues like mental health. We have all kind of issues that get mixed up in this when we start trying to do this cookie cutter approach. And that's why we have educators today to help us navigate these waters. And let me bring them back up here. Get them back on the scene. Ladies, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'll have you know that I am actually enjoying this today.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
It's intuitive. It's instructive. I even picking up some inspiration. Kind of co-signing on some of the things that I've felt and that I feel strongly about. I feel like our purposes are aligned, and that's really why you're on the show today. Because not just here to co-sign on what I'm saying, but I'm saying this is information I think educators need to hear about, parents, and anybody who has questions about where we're heading as a society needs to set up and pay attention to these type of conversations. I mentioned the thing about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, Lord help the children. Man, bless the children. The things they have to go through on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a growing concern nationally, not just here in the Bowie or the Prince George's County area.
Yes.
So how does this interconnectedness reduce some of the anxiety and isolation and other environments that our children go through on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I think, for us, and, addressing that issue is to, number one, help the students to understand, hey, just because we're adults, it doesn't mean that we don't feel the things that you feel as well. I'm a certified yoga teacher along with Joseph Murray, our other co-founder. And, when I'm not doing the director stuff, every now and then I get an opportunity to teach. And one thing that I say to the students, whether they're our young students or adult students, is that chaos and confusion doesn't work for anybody. No one. So if you don't have peace of mind, it doesn't matter. You can try and learn everything you want. It just doesn't matter because your mind is going to be focused on a root issue that's, giving you trouble and troubling your life. And so once the students can kind of see, hey, you know what? The staff members are feeling some of the same things that we're feeling, then it's easier for us to begin to connect with them and to understand, what they're going through, and then to say, hey, you know what? It'll get better. These are some of the tools that we've used, and some of the tools that may help you as well. And I can tell you during Carline, whenever I'm doing Carline or Antoinette or Joseph, like we're already reading the kids once you get out of the car. Like, okay, so-and-so looks a little, and you just can tell through the body language and just from having known them. And, then we'll get a chance, after everything's, calmed down and say, hey, what's going on today? Anything happening? And I'm thinking in my head, do I need to call the parents? So that's one of the ways that we start, addressing those issues of mental health and also, having various professionals in the field that we connect with, and Antoinette can speak to that a little bit more. But yes, that is one of the ways that we do that.
Well, I think as a country, we have to stop thinking in mental health as an add-on. When you look at your insurance policies, it's an additional, it's not the part of the normal and insurance policy. It's quite expensive to get mental health. And so we think of it as an add-on when mental health is really the infrastructure. It is who we are. And when that breaks down, everything else breaks down. Our society starts breaking down. Corporate America starts breaking down. And so we have all these things that start breaking apart because we've treated mental health as this add-on when it's really who we are. It's that infrastructure that needs to be nurtured and made sure and maintained. And so for us, when we look at our website and you look at our school, we are heavy emphasis on emotional, social first. And students want to be academically challenged. And I know that there's those academic pressures that are out there as well. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if the child is not emotionally stable and socially stable, it doesn't matter how strong the academic program is, they're going to struggle. If you're hungry, if you're coming from a single parent home and you're not getting maybe the things that you need, if you are going through the anxiety and depression, then you're not going to succeed well. And so we've put this in the back seat in many of our schools, where we look at the academics first and we try to make all these academic interventions, when really the intervention needs to start back with what our emotional and social and where we are. And so for us as a school, it's really important. We're not a special needs school, and we don't have special educators on our staff, but we have many of our teachers are well versed. We also have a neurodiversity consultant that sits on our staff that helps me look at IEPs and 504s to make sure that we can reach those students. And the difference with us is that if we give you a no, because we don't have the services here, you better believe that we're going to try our best to find the place that will meet the needs for your child. Yes. So it's not just a no. And that's where that interconnectedness comes from, that sense of community, because typically schools look at it just as a seat. I can't take the child, I'll just go after another seat. Whether we look at the child and the family first, what can we do to help this child or this family? And if we can't do it, we have resources and people that we've reached out to make sure that they do get the help that they need. So it is important. Our students do meditation every day, 15 minutes before we start our day. It is a time where we can slow down and calm down. In the United States, we are a fast-paced society. It is go, 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 work, 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 where we need to take the time for ourselves as well. And so that's important for us to start our day. We teach resilience. We teach mindfulness. We teach compassion for others. We teach the tools that you need to be able to communicate when you have constructive criticism, or when you need to be able to look at yourself in a different light, and be able to take that time to be with yourself to make sure that you know how you can be the best you for somebody else. And so those things are really important. I have students that come to us with PTSD, anxiety, depression. And I will tell you, my neurodiversity consultant's child, and she does not remind me sharing this story, but her child was on medication for anxiety. And now he decided on his own, I don't no longer need that medication anymore, because I've learned the tools that the Mandala School has taught me to be able to overcome when I get anxious and when I'm feeling that nervousness coming up. But not only that, but also recognizing when I'm getting to that point. So, and I think the other important thing for us, Robert, is the fact that we build relationships with all of our families and all of our students. And so our students are wanting to talk to us about whatever is going on. This is a partnership. If they're having trouble at home, we want to know about it, and we're going to try to help you in whatever way we can to make sure that is that connection. Because at the end of the day, it is about the child, and that is what's most important. So no matter what we need to do together to make sure that child is successful and gets what they need is most important. And right now in our schools, we're falling apart. We're losing our kids left and right. And it's really sad to see. And we always go back to money. It's more than a money. It's more than a number. It is really about the compassion and how we can mold our programs to be successful and give kids what they need and support families.
And I like that what you said with regard to the support of the families, because the family has a mission too. And when a family is struggling, trying to see how can I help my child, get from A to B? How can I help my child when I see that that they look as if, they've changed and they're not talking to anyone, they're not talking to me, you know, it is about everybody working together and us becoming one, moving as one in order to help that and address it so that the family can, meet their mission as well and achieve their mission.
Well, I think, Robert, the other thing about our families is that when you come to the Mandala School, we expect that you're going to trust us with the process. And so giving up that sense of, oh, wow, I've got to give it to them to let them kind of guide with it is hard to do for some families, but it's important because when they trust us with the process, and I can have many, many stories to prove that when they trust us with the process, they see the outcome is amazing for their child and for their family.
I really like that. That's my MO for my company. Just because you offer everything doesn't mean you have to do everything. And when I listen to you talk about the mental health aspect where you bring in the professionals, people come to my company because they want their end result. And they trust me because of my brand. I've been demonstrated to be a person of integrity and professionalism. And so when they come to me, if I don't do a certain service, they know I'm going to put them in the hands of somebody who does. Yes. And I get that from the relationship you have with your parents. They trust you. They come to you. They say, look, I don't know if she does this or not, if they offer that or not, but I'm going to put my child in her hand or their hands, and they're going to make sure they have the most positive, propitious outcome for my kid. And I think that's a good lesson for businesses, educators, nonprofits, politicians. You need to become that trusted resource that they can bring their problems, their challenges, their opportunities, and have the feeling that they're in good hands. And I really like that. And that's besides the mental health aspect with you all.
Well, and Robert, the other thing to add to that is that not only that they can trust us to come to us, but also at the same time that we're not going to judge them on whatever they're coming to us with. That they realize that we all have gone through something, and it's important for us to share a little piece of ourselves. So our students know a little bit about things that we have struggled through. Our families know things that we have struggled through because we all are human and we all go through things. And so there is no judgment.
And it goes back to the piece of, understanding with regard to the chaos and confusion piece of it, having a struggle or feeling, experiencing something that you've never experienced before that is painful, you're not going to be able to think to the next day because all you're doing is focusing on that. Yes. And that I do know very well, so, it's again to have the students see that adults are not perfect because that's how they look at it in their minds. Sometimes right. They're like, oh my God, you're everything, and you're just perfect. You don't make any mistakes or anything. And I'm like, au contraire, that's not true.
Au contraire, mon frère. Well, ladies, I'm really enjoying this, and I will admit I may have to get you back what I like to do is contextualize what's happening in the world, and I'm happy to know that I have you as a resource when topics of education come up in the minds and people's mind. So I'm glad for that, first of all. But here's where I'm going to close this, because we are a business development show, but we understand the holistic nature of education, community, and so forth. So I'm going to put this closing question to you. So if you had the attention of all of our business owners, what would you want them to understand about the connection between education and economic power, so we can close this circle?
Well, I'll let Valencia answer in just a few moments, but I'm going to share with you an example of one thing that we do with our students. We do an entrepreneurial fair every year with our students. So every year our students have to create their own business. They can maybe partner with other students, but they have to create their business, come up with a business plan, come up with a logo, a slogan. Then they have to create and make all the products for their business. And then we hold a fair, and then we have the public come out They have their tables all set up and they're selling their products. And I will tell you that this first time for us in Bowie, our students raised over $8,000 of products, and they get to keep a portion of that money going home. But I would like to add to that we have one of our students, and we have a couple of other ones as well, but one student that I'm particularly thinking about did lip gloss for her. She loves makeup. She's in my 5th grade program.
Her beauty line.
And she has Beauty by A as her name. And so she actually has been at other fairs doing and selling her products. She has a website, an Instagram page, and all of that. So again, that's teaching and building those skills.
Yes. And you know, and I want to take that a step further. So back to the entrepreneur fair that we had back in October with our students. The Bowie State University Economic Innovation Center, Mr. Linnell from the center came to speak to the students, gave them tips on, you know, what you do when a customer comes to your table and everything. And all of them followed it. It was so good to see. And Beauty by A, she took it a step further and was selling out her product at that fair over the adults and everything, just because she would speak to the customer before they got there. And when they got there, she was engaging with them. And mind you, she's like 11. So we were really proud of that. And, you know, closing that circle, you know, with regard to, you know, how this is going to translate into economic power or power within is that you're learning an education from the analog perspective, from the technological perspective, and also learning how to integrate and infuse all of those things and speaking the different languages. And I don't mean like a French or Greek or English or anything like that, but when you are in different spaces, learning and already reading your audience very fast so that you're able to convey who you are and what you're doing and how what you're bringing to life in an authentic way. That is part of the educational piece of it, and you know, furthering that power.
And I will tell you that our students lead with executive functioning skills that most students graduate with and struggle with when they get into the college world and into the work world. So those executive functioning, time management, owning their own education and knowing what they want to do and going after it is important skills that they will leave here with.
I think this is a couple of quick things. I like the way you guys answered the question. Some people just answer by giving hypotheticals. You actually are doing it. I mean, you can. I mean, it's one thing to say, well, you know, I give advice on this, that, and the other, but you actually have the wheels in motion as we speak, and that to me is more important than just, you know, giving a canned response. Absolutely. So I'll give you a lot of points for that. The other thing, talking about the circle and connectivity, you mentioned the Bowie Innovation Center. I was on the email with them this morning. They're one of my clients. We've been working together since 2024. We do a lot of their technology, and I know
Miss Janetta and crew, yes.
And Krista Clark and the whole crew over there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I knew there was there's always some kind of thread or connectivity when like minds come together. And so Bowie Innovation Center may be that thread that, besides the BLE and Miss Janice that put us all together, people understand the importance of connectivity. If nothing else comes out of this conversation today, the connectivity, the wheel, the mandala, it's in our lives in every possible way. Sometimes you don't realize what's going on. It's happening in the background. But today, what we have done is brought it to the forefront to help us understand, particularly when it comes to education and our young people, and how it even that information transfers up the chain to successful business owners. And they can start as young as 11 years old and younger. Yes. Congratulations to that young lady on her beauty line. That's really amazing. Ladies, let people know more about closing by anything you want to add about your organization, your school, how they might reach out to you. If you have contact information such as your website or your social media, please share that with us.
We do have an open house coming up, and then I'm going to let Valencia share our information and how to reach us. But we do have an open house coming up in March. Friday, March the 27th, we have open house from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it allows for our families that are coming to visit to be able to eat lunch with us as well. And then we do have a follow-up to that on Saturday, March 28th from 10 to noon on that day as well. And then I would like to highlight that we have an adult program on that Saturday evening so that adults can learn exactly what we do with our students here and a wonderful sauna journey experience for that evening that you can find out about on Eventbrite as well. I'll have Valencia go ahead and give our other information.
Yes. So our website is Mandala School MD, that's Mary David.org. And you can reach us by calling 410-227-4103. If you're interested in our school, in our summer programs, our adult programs, and, or just want to learn more about us, you can give us a call, go to our website, everything so that you can learn more.
I really appreciate this show because we went over a little longer than we normally do, but this is important because I kept hearing the word chaos. I put a post on Facebook yesterday. I was just feeling about the chaos that's going on. I want to let people know it's going to be okay. This too shall pass. It was probably one of my most successful posts in the last few weeks because I tapped into a sentiment. And so I do want to close on that yes, there is chaos out here, but I feel like our future is in good hands because of people like we have on the show today. And I really appreciate your coming on to kind of help us kind of exhale a little bit. So, well, I think the future is in pretty good hands when we have these kind of servants out here working for our children. So I want to thank you for that. And I do want to extend an invitation to come back in the future. Maybe when you have another event coming up, or you want to talk about a topic that's hot in the news or something that's on people's forefronts of their
absolutely
thoughts.
And may I say one more thing when you're done answering one? So I also wanted to mention our development group of parents that we've been working so hard for months, and we're going to have a bruncheon in May, at the beginning of May. So I want everybody to, go to the website, save the date and everything like that and be aware of that.
Okay. And I want to thank Janice for introducing us.
Yes. Thank you to Janice.
Janice Tom, she has been we talked about the First Friday networking event that we have every week, every first Friday of every month. And she's been a regular attendee, and she has been telling me about you guys forever. And I said, Janice, let's just make it happen. Let's just make it happen. So she has been instrumental. And I see why she was so insistent that I bring you guys on board, because this has been amazing. So I thank you. Hats off to her as well. So ladies, thanks again. And we will see you in the future, and keep doing what you're doing. That's all I can say.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely, Mr. Gatewood. And thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Folks, there it is. What we've had today is a sample of how we plan to do the Marketing Pulpit Show going forward in 2026. We're going to bring these exciting guests. And if you have a organization and you're doing the right thing in the community, you're furthering the advancement of our children, business owners, community service, you have a nonprofit, just come on, let's talk about it. We're not going to charge you any money. I'm considering this a community service of mine. So we are not here to make money. I'm here to try to, like I say, I'm not here to save your soul. I'm here to save our community, our businesses, our educational institutions, and really this country. I feel like this country is on a downward spiral, and I think we need to hold the line in every way that we can. So thank you again for tuning in today. I'm Robert Gatewood. I'll be back next week right here on the Marketing Pulpit Show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And if you missed the contact information that our guest gave out, go back and just replay the show You can go to marketingpulpit.com. You can also go to YouTube, go to LinkedIn, go to Instagram, and share this information with others. Really, this is worth sharing. I'm really full, like my dad used to say when he would come off the pulpit after a very emotional sermon. He would say, "I'm full." So I wanted to say that I'm full right now. So thank you again. We'll see you next week. And as we always say, as Mr. Brown, thank you again, Mr. Brown, for tuning in. As Mr. Brown, he's going to help me put it on the screen for me. Mr. Brown is one of our loyal followers. And he understands that when we close the show, he reminds me not to forget this famous quote. If you want to be successful in business, education, politics, or otherwise, you have to do these three things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work.